For this week, just like I was kind of talking about a second ago, we are meeting on Thursday as well, mainly because we want to make sure everybody's good to go with picking schedules and stuff like that for next year. If people miss this class or they just choose to not create a schedule for whatever reason for next year, what I've been told by counselors is that they will contact the student and they will basically fill you into whatever you need. If Jim Bob doesn't create a schedule for next year, then his counselor is going to basically put him in the classes, the core classes he needs, and then just pick, one or two elective classes for him. That's just the way it goes. So if you're one of those people that you're like, no, I really want this class, I really want to do this, right? Make sure you're staying on top of this and you're registering and getting this stuff taken care of as soon as possible. So I'm going to share my screen and then show you what you have on your plate for this week. So under today's date, March 23rd, it just says focus for today. I'll go ahead and click on this. We're going to watch this video detailing what you should be focusing on today. I think what I'm going to do, since we spent the whole time last week on Thursday watching that, I don't know how long it was, that video just emphasizing exactly how to register. I think this is just a shorter recap of that from Mr. Stevens. So after we go through announcements, if people are ready to take off and keep doing that process, make sure you watch this video to make sure you're on track and you're doing exactly what you need to do, not only to prep us for student-led conferences, but to also get your schedule built for next year. And then that way I can hang back and talk with people that have specific questions. So we'll have advisory this Thursday to wrap up preparations for student-led conferences. Student-led conferences are next week on Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it runs from 12 to 6 or something like that. So it just depends on when your time you scheduled was. But that is next week. One question that's been asked is how are those going to look? There was a rubric that was pasted, or it was put into our Canvas classroom, I think like a couple weeks or so ago, that was basically a talking point. Like, this is what you should cover, then this. There's also a template on the advisory or the counselor's website, I think at Timberline, that says you can build like a PowerPoint that kind of walks you through it. So you can just go through your PowerPoint. To be honest, with all this junk happening, with the amount of interaction that I see every week, which is probably about half of the students that I see from advisory, I'm not really expecting everybody to have everything done that we should have done, right? You've been given the time to do these things. Ideally, I would love to see all these, these surveys taken, these assignments that we did done in your portfolio. But in reality, I don't know if that's going to be true. We'll see. I'm sure some people will. With that said, the thing that I really want to focus on, priority number one, is going to be your schedule. So when we have a student-led conference, if your schedule is not built, that is what we're going to use our short amount of time for. And if you need more time to build it, then that'll just be on you to get that done after we separate or after we disconnect. But that's the first thing that I want to take care of is your schedule during student-led conferences. The next thing we'll talk about is just kind of maybe what your plans are next year, what your focus is after high school, and just get an idea in general, how you're moving forward, making sure you're setting yourself up for success, not only this year, but for next year's. Maybe talk about some ideas, things that you can adopt next year to make sure you're successful. There's things like that. But like I said, priority number one is building your schedule and making sure that's built. I shouldn't say building your schedule. I should say making sure it's built, because that's not what that time's used for. I don't want to sit there and help you build your schedule. That should have been done already by that point. Some students are having difficulty saving and editing the graduation checklists. So this is the checklist that I posted on March 9th. I guess if you watch this video tutorial, this is Mr. Stevens showing you how that works. My understanding is you just make a copy of it, and then it's like an editable PDF, and you can click it and it checks the box. You can type in things. But again, if you're using this graduation checklist that I posted on March 9th, and you're not sure how it works, just watch this tutorial for help. And that should be able to answer your questions. Make sure your portfolio is up to date and all tasks you've been asked to complete are done. Again, this is in a perfect world. If we were in class, then I would hold you accountable to all those. I would love to see that all those tasks are done in the portfolio that you've been asked to do this year. If not, it's not the end of the world. But again, my main focus is building your schedule for next year. So if you are good to go, I am going to release the people that are good to go and work on their schedule, do whatever they need to do. If you have questions and you want to hang back with me and talk about anything specific, then please do so. But if something does pop up and you do have questions that pop up, just make sure you shoot me an email and contact me as soon as possible. Sweet. Awesome, Amy. All right. If you're good to go, take off. I'm going to let these last couple of people that are late in. If you have questions, hang back with me. I'll see you all Thursday. Thanks, Haley. See ya. Oh, she already took off. Hey, Lily. Hey, Cooper, Tyler. I'm going to upload this video.